message will pop up. It'll either be a comment on a post or it'll be an inbox, right? And I went out like, who is you? Is you the white buffalo lady? And she was like, what did you talking about? So then we started chatting about it, and when she started telling me about her history and her tribal affiliation and how her mom and them was grooming her, and I was like, holy, she the white buffalo lady.
Yeah, you got some connections too, boy. I know some before you said you be getting.
I keep telling people we back. The ancient ones that returned in modern bodies in modern times.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody else.
Yes, sir. Returning
the ancestors on the other side doing their thing.
Yes, sir. Look, so I gotta. I would say, High Priestess, if it's me, really, I think either one of us. But for me, you can send it Instagram. High Priestess said, "How can they send a picture of a beautiful bison skull?" And if you're trying to send it now, I could send you an email address too. I could put in the comments that I could probably access real quick. But the question earlier, Big Chief, that I'm shocked that I didn't ask it before. I said I meant to, but it just didn't happen. But it's on my spirit now. I'm glad that it came back. But the story of you becoming Chief Pontiac, can you kind of share, the backstory behind it? Because all this time I've been calling you Big Chief from the day I met you. But and I know, Chief Pontiac and all that, but I never asked the story. So that's kind of like I'm blown away by myself. Like, how you ain't never asked that question? So I'm curious.
I had went over this on several different platforms, right?
Okay.
And then somebody took all of the clips and put them together, and they titled it "Rod Hayes: How I Became Chief Pontiac," and it got all of the little pieces of the story put together in one reel.
I say, yeah, I'll pull it up.
I'm gonna send it to you so you can post it in the comments.
Okay.
Because I really don't want to go over it again.
I got you. Yeah, I do that. High Priestess said her son is a great. Yeah, I'm gonna share it real quick. High Priestess, I'm gonna put it in the chat. And then let me see. All right, I'm pulling that up right now. High Priestess, I'll get it to you in a minute. Put it in the comments, and then let me see. And then also,
all right, I sent it to you. You put it in the comments.
Okay, I'll put that in there too.
So, just a little thing about chiefs. All the chief is the head of the household at home.
Okay.
You're not a public chief until you call to do public service for the people based off what you've learned in your life. When I was in the penitentiary, they called me Dr. Rod the Walking University. Right? Now we get to now it's Chief Pontiac Rod Hayes, and the chief, the leader of this family, have to first be signed off by the parents and siblings. Then they sent to go stay with relatives. And when the relatives determine that they're going to be a competent leader, they sign off on them. Then they send them to the community. When the community examine you, they put you through the rigmarole to determine if they're going to accept you as a chief. Then when your community accepts you as a chief, they send you out to other communities to be tested and tried by other chiefs according to their skill set and their specialty. Angel Bay sent G. Kirk in Motown to check my chin, and he didn't even know that. He didn't even know my mama was his auntie. Right? He was married to my cousin. And he knew my mama real well, but he didn't know who I was when he seen me, but he checked my chin. So any of you Stones in Motown that know G. Kirk, ask him about a Maggie nephew who chin he checked back in the day. He found out that the chin was solid and the right wasn't half bad.
look, look. You answered
Look,
the question.
in
I got the
that
answer.
same time, look in that same vein. If you in Motown and you folks go on 50th and ask about Oily Head because he was the region I was under in Motown on 50th when me and my cousin Craig was putting in work on the blue side.
Mm. Yes, sir.
My
Listen,
bicycle homie just killed himself um, couple months, about a month ago.
damn, you about to know.
Yeah, he stayed on me,
Mm.
right? I don't be making this stuff up. It be sounding like, how can one person do all this shit?
Man,
I
listen,
be saying the same thing. I be like, damn, I can't believe I done lived all these lifetimes in one lifetime.
bro. It's deep, man, because I be thinking about stuff like that too, and it's so funny because yeah, I think honestly, which is crazy, but I think me and you, we probably like went places and covered more ground than I have with damn near anybody else on the show. The only other person I feel like I might could say that with is Baba if I carried it because we did so many shows together. We covered a lot of ground. But when me and you do shows, we go we go places. And what's funny about it is I don't even think I've known you 3 months yet. But I can't tell you how many people be like, yo, I would have thought y'all grew up together. I'm like, bro, it's just certain frequency just fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Because what I do know is this not the first time we've done this. I remember you spoke about me and you spoke off air about somebody that you're related to, and I ain't gonna mention the name, but I know you know who I'm talking about. But and the roles that y'all come back as, you know what I'm saying, like when y'all come back, and I was just thinking like, yo, that's dope because I know for a
I know
fact
you
this is
talking about Big Brother Almighty.
yeah, yeah. Look, I'll put it like this. I'm repping some of his I'm repping some of the jewels. So I was just like, bro, like this ain't the first time we've done this. Like because I don't know which time or which lifetime or none of that, but I know familiar souls always coagulate back to home base with other familiar souls. That's just how it goes.
So the way that I describe it, I say we come in teams,
Yes, yes, yeah. Like SEAL
right?
Team 6. Yep.
Yeah. So like the same energy that brought me to the forefront is the same energy that bringing Ibrahim Traore over there to the forefront,
Yes, sir.
right? And I can go from community to community showing you we got a dog in every fight. I know where all the dogs that represent what I represent. It's just that some of us don't know where they dog at in the fight and they grab the wrong dog, get bit, and then they be mad at the dog. You should have knew your dog.
Bruh. You said something there, boy. You said something. Bro, I was just having a conversation last night. And I'm outside just watching the stars in the sky. I think I saw a couple crabs too. I ain't bullshitting either. I think I saw a couple of them come in and pop back out. And I ain't had no phone or nothing. But when it happened, I was out there with my dog. And shout out to Chapo. And he's sitting there chilling. And then, the brother I'm talking to, I somehow I spoke about him. I spoke about my dog, and bro, I promise you, I got receipts for this too. I promise you. As soon as I said what I said, he just started barking. Like I mean, and he kept barking. It wasn't no one or two bark. Like he went in, like, yeah, I know you talking about me, but he must have heard something too because the way he kept barking. But as soon as I started talking about him, he started. But we both laughed. He's like, boy, yeah, he know. I was like, yeah. I said, look, that's alignment. You talking about divine alignment? That's divine. That's divine alignment. Boy, when you communicating with nature and the elements, you know what I'm saying? Like that's dope.
That's
That's dope.
turning into your primal self too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, and
Most of the dog men is the ones that's loners and they spend a lot of time alone. So nature just make them attracted to dogs as a companion
yes,
because of the loyalty factor that come with the dog. If I'm walking my dog, he's just as friendly as he want to be. But let a dog run up to me like he about to go into some action, all bets off. My dog just turned it from cringer to battle cat.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That's a real thing. Oh, all right. See, yeah, spirit in the night, man. I might do something I thought I never would do. I might have to do that
Look,
now.
I'll tell you something happened. My dogs don't be aggressive to people, right? So I tell people, I say, if my dog don't like you, you can't come around me, right? So I'm down on the dock one day, and I get this eerie feeling, right? And my dog jump up, right? I turn around and look over my shoulder, dude walking up the dock, and my dog is like lit up, like come down here, mofo. And I said, hey man, stop right there. He stopped. I said, don't come down here, because if my dog bites you, I'm whooping you. we in this together.
Yes, sir.
He don't act like this. So there's something wrong with you and you can't come down there. And he was like, but I'm okay with the dog. No, you ain't okay with this dog. He telling you to stay back. And if my dog bites you, I got to whoop you.
Yes. Because
he not aggressive to people like that. Yeah, he generally not aggressive like that. You coming down here on some shenanigans and the dog ain't buying it and I ain't either.
Bruh. Well, that's so real. Oh my God.
Yeah, but he was froze there for a minute. And I say, I'm gonna untie this dog if you don't leave. Right? I say, and I'm telling you now, when my dog bites you, I'm whooping you. He went, don't untie him, I'll leave. Yeah, I know you will.
Yeah.
I guess a sign at the front door when you come in the house, they say all visitors must be approved by the dog.
I know that's right.
If you got a friendly dog, they get aggressive with somebody, keep that SOB away from you. The dog is telling you they ain't no earthly good.
Bruh. That's so
Look,
real.
I had a friend, and when I was a teenager, I had a white pit named Crystal. All my friends, if I don't sick her on them, she cool with.
Mm-hmm.
But one. I should have let her tear that nigga ass up.
Bruh. Like I know you talking real talk, because for one, shout out to Ibatinu to Nino Bishop, which I think he came up the last time we was on the show, Nino Bishop Brown.
Man was Bishop Majestic Black Magic.
We talked about that too. That's why I said this ain't no coincidence. Like it ain't, and I believe they was around and alive at the same time too. They both was out here with the shits and wanted all the smokes too, both of them. But
my sister told me one day, she said, oh, you ain't gonna never have another dog like Bishop. He was you in a dog body.
bro, I swear, oh man, I wish my cousin was on here. He might be, but bro, on God, man, that's how it was with me and Nino. And Nino, he was as aggressive as he was with other animals. Like I said, he'll fight a gerbil to a damn bull or bison. An elephant. He wanted all the smoke with any and everything, no matter how big or small. He wanted it all. Like, but with me, it was funny because he was great with people. He was great with babies. He was great with children. He was great with everybody. But anytime he took off on somebody, I knew right then, because I can count on one hand how many people he took off on. So I know it was something wrong with them, because every animal he ever encountered, he wanted all the smoke. But when it came to people, he was good with babies. Like I was nervous at first when I had my first one, because I was like, yo, he better act right, because I love you to life, but you gotta go, because that's, you know what I'm saying, that's my young king. But man, he was on him I had to kind of let him know, like, bro, don't you try that, because he was like ready to try to, I guess, protect him and like kind of like stand in front of me. I'm like, all right, now you know what time it is. But I say all that to say he was great with people. So the few people that he did want to get to, I knew it was something definitely wrong with them people, because the same exact thing. Like
the way that I train my dogs, if they don't like you, I'm not dealing with you.
Not me either. There's no need. No need whatsoever. No need. I gotta share the cash out.
Bishop had a son named Seven, right? And I'm in the garage. I got Seven, and then my brother got a lab mix, named Yaki. And so we out here outside in the garage, and somebody in the bushes. Yaki went one way to chase him, and Seven went the other way to try to cut him off. I was like, look at them working as a team, and they ain't never met before.
Bruh, look, it ain't no separation with spirit. It's all connected. We all connected.
Yeah. Man, the dude was getting in the wind. I don't know what he was doing in the bushes, because there wasn't no bushes by the sidewalk, and then they was like up in the yard. Right, but I was going through some stuff back then, so it could have been somebody coming for me. But the dogs wasn't playing. They was at him. I had to dive on him.
Bruh.
They was gonna get him.
Yeah, I had a situation like that with Nino. I remember it was my housewarming party, actually, with my first crib. And it's like, mind you, I had I don't know how many people was there, but it was a nice size amount of people there. And he was cool with everybody, bro. Like everybody coming in and out. We got people in the front of the house, people in the house, people in all the areas of the house, people in the backyard. Everybody chilling. You know, we barbecuing, playing spades, everything we do. And man, I promise you, when one of my homeboys, you about to know, he just transitioned this year too. But one of my a partner who I used to work with came, bro. When he came on the street, I cannot make this shit up. When he turned on the street, Nino went crazy. Like he ran from wherever he was at, went right in the front window, and he was going berserk. I mean, he was going crazy to the point, bro, as the brother got there and came to the door, I had to lock him up. Now, mind you, we got, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 60 people there. He's good with everybody, children, babies, everybody. He's good. Everybody, ain't nobody mad. Ain't nobody asked me to put him up because he's cool. This one brother came, bro. He went ape shit, bro. I had to lock him in the cage because he wasn't having it. And I know the reason why he was like that. But you know, it wasn't nothing that had to do with me. But he did have something that I knew personally that he did that I feel like Nino picked up on it, and that's why I was like, I ain't fucking with this dude, bro.
That's the difference between me and you. Because if my dog would have reacted like that, and it's a house full of people, you can't come in here.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you cross my threshold. Your energy ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't coming in here. If my dogs tell you you ain't coming in, I'm telling you the same thing. We on the same page.
Mm-hmm. And I get it, and I agree with you. But what I'll do is I ain't gonna share it on here. But when we talk off here, I'll tell you what that reason why it was, and I think it'll make. I know it'll make a lot more sense to you. But that's what I know why.
It don't matter. It don't matter
Mhm.
what the reason was. I could have knew the reason the dog didn't like him. If my dog don't like you, you're not coming in the house.
Oh no,
Because
I get it.
I'm not putting my dog up. First off, I'm not putting him up. I'm not putting him up. He live here. You don't.
Listen,
So if you say
we
you can't come in, you ain't coming in. I'm gonna come outside and talk to you.
no, we all
Bye.
right. Cause look, I let him out. I let him in. I let him come in. I put Nino up for a minute, and then I was like, all right, bro, I gotta let him out because, like I said, we are alike, and I'm like, this is his house, and he has the right to go wherever he want to go, whatever he wants. So I let him out, right? And he ran right up on her like, oh my God, like he really was not having it. So bro knew what it was. He ended up going outside, smoking a cigarette, you know, chilling out there. He knew what it was. So it's like I had to let Nino do what he do because that's his house. But it's just crazy because
If my
that's a
dog bites you, I'm whooping you. That's all I can tell you. If my dog bites you, I'm whooping you, especially at my house.
I got a few stories I'm gonna share with you off the air about that because I had a couple of situations where I was ready, I wanted to, but whoever that person was,
Look,
they took them all the way in.
I told my mom about my dog hate my friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me, you better listen to your dog. I said, Mama, I always listen to my dog. That's why
Right.
I'm telling you my dog doing. And she was like, that dog know that SOB ain't no earthly good.
Mm-hmm. That's facts.
Or he
Yeah,
don't mean you no good is what she said. He don't mean you no good.
that's facts. Yeah, that's real. They tell you, and I know you know this too. Like I could literally, like even with Chapo, and Chapo's the polar opposite, and and I love it because he, I feel like hell. I feel like you know what's crazy? That's dope, man. This just literally just hit me just now. I would say it crystallized or it made sense, but I guess it was Nino was like me. I wasn't like that as far as wanting smoke with people, but if people came at me, I
I
kind of
was.
I didn't want it. I didn't look for it. Nino looked for it and wanted it. I didn't look for it. I still don't, and I don't want it. But if you come and give it to me, I'm gonna give it back. That's all. That's how I am. But Chapo though,
I'm
Chapo,
saying 50 explained it the best. 50
I'm gonna
say,
highlight.
50 say, 50 say, I never want a problem. But when they got a problem, I say, no problem. And now I'm the problem.
That's why I highlighted you because I knew that was coming. But I had with Magneto Stone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like spirited, man, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, man. But hey, I know the timeline that we had, Big Chief, and I'm gonna make sure I stay respectful of your time, man. But with that, um, last question I got is when it comes to September. I know you've had several downloads and just different I feel like interactions with spirit or with with just the energy. of the divine communicating with you. Have you had any updates, or is there anything that you might want to share with us, or forewarn, or just prepare us for, equip us for, or with, in regards to
Whatever it
your?
is, it's gonna be some good stuff.
You want to drop it
But
now?
look, there is something that's going on that we ain't paying attention to though.
Go ahead. I'm
They
hot
had
for it.
a massive thaw in the Antarctica, 1101, 1110, born again. This melt has caused the ocean current to reverse. I mean, it was a rapid melting of a large portion of ice, which is only normally done by energy weapons because you can't melt ice that fast with a blowtorch. And they said that it upset the salt balance in the ocean by melting that sizable portion of ice at one time, but they don't know what caused it. So they say, I don't believe that they don't know what caused it. I believe that they don't want to tell us what caused it.
What do you think was the
Changing the
cause?
current. So we're looking at the return of the sweet water because you got to remember that the ice is fresh water until it's melted into the ocean.
It gets mixed with the salt, right?
Mm-hmm. Because
Mm.
the salt don't freeze. When the water freezes in the ice, it purges the salt. Just
That's
like
deep.
trying to freeze alcohol.
Well, that's you look. That's the second time today that happened. I think my mama did that to me earlier. I was like, man, mess around and drove me off the road. If I got to share my little 2 cents, but you did the same thing. Like, bro, I was gonna say that because the only other element that I know personally, I know of that doesn't freeze is alcohol. So how does like the two? Because they're different. Okay, so how does that?
Salt got a lower freezing point than regular water.
Mm,
Regular water freezes at 32 degrees. The
mm,
temperature had to be below zero for the salt water to freeze. But once it
mm.
freezes, it purges itself of the salt. The first warm day, it'll start melting.
Yeah, that's that. Okay, so that's deep. Okay, so now this is where my little spidey senses are sending me. So when it comes to that to me reminds me of the opposite of, like, so for example with the ice or the alcohol and the salt water not freezing. So would that be like the reverse polarity of like how when we boil water with the heat, it kind of like eliminates like bacteria, and impurities and all that stuff too? Is that like the
Yeah.
opposite end of the
Well,
spectrum?
it kill living bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have like trace metals that's toxic, they just gonna concentrate.
Mm.
If you boil salt water until the water boil out, you have salt at the bottom of the pot. But all of the water that left won't have no salt in it.
Wow.
You can't
That's
drink salt water because the saline concentration is higher than the saline concentration in the blood,
mm.
right? Which is the salt level.
Mm.
So when you get a IV and they give you salt water, they're giving you that salt in the level that's compatible with the human blood.
Mm.
That's what the saline drip is. It's water, but it's salt water.
You talking about
But
when
it's
like
not
people,
as salty as ocean water.
right? And that's the one they use like in the hospital and all that when people are dehydrated,
Yeah,
right?
it's saline. Yeah. If you put salt water in there, it's going to cause massive problems. If you put ocean water in there,
Mm. Yeah. Well, there's that. Yeah. And we just had a dope conversation yesterday. HPS Empress Yemaya Faye. Like, we had a dope conversation. She went in too, but it was dope. Huh? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we ain't having none of that. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, Big Chief, and shout out to the tribe who showed up, man. We appreciate all of y'all. Show some love and support for the time and the energy, the efforts, and the wisdom, being dropped by Big Chief and all of our guests for that matter. And then shout out again to the brother Arisha Stone. I'm gonna keep flexing with the jewels that man he sent to represent on the channel, man. So we're gonna definitely continue to do that because he got some powerful pieces. So I look forward to receiving some more packages. As a matter of fact, I got some more family I'll be sharing too that he sent to me to share with the tribe. Anybody want to jump on some, man, we got that work, when it comes to the stones. So with that, Big Chief, I appreciate you, brother. I can't thank you enough. It's always been a pleasure, always an honor, and always a damn good time and conversation, man. So with that, much love and much appreciation for you. Yes, sir. Bang banging at his
Well,
spine.
I ain't got much longer to be on social media. Then I'm
I
gonna be
know.
retired, living my life.
Listen, I know, and look, that's why I'm trying to get it in when I can, man. Get it in and make it do what it do. Cause look, if it wasn't for me being obedient, I wouldn't be here now. But I still look. I know what my marching orders was. And I know what they told me I'm supposed to do. So therefore, I'm gonna make it do what it do. And then they give me the pass. Social media too. But I ain't gonna do it before I get that green light. Yes,
I've
sir.
been kicking and screaming the whole time, so
Listen, you and me both. Tribe, y'all forgive me, but that's a real thing. But I'm gonna be real though. I feel everything. Like for real, I feel everything. So it's like feeling everything and being an empath, someone who absorbs different types of energies and frequencies and vibrations. It's not healthy for you to be exposed to a lot. Like just to be real on a serious note. So that's why I am, like you said, a loner. I am someone who I like to stay in my little turtle shell, man. I pop the head and limbs out to do what I got to do, and I'm popping back in that thing so I can stay true because I know, what it is. But I still, I
I'm a
committed.
firm believer that if I stay in my own lane and run over anybody that get in my lane, if you in my lane, you better follow the leader. But anybody, as long as I stay in my own lane, I'm gonna get to the destination I'm supposed to be at. That's why I don't be swerving over in other people's lane. I don't got time for that. I don't want to be part of the energy that ain't part of what I'm talking about.
That's facts, bro. And it's so funny because I remember the last time I saw Professor Kaba in person, he was down here in Jacksonville. Excuse me. And that's one of the major key parts of his presentation was about staying in your lane or him staying in his lane. He's like, my lane is education. Like that's what I do. I'm gonna stick with education and education. I feel like I can go out there and I could do like Mike, in education. But you ain't gonna get me on the basketball court. You ain't gonna get me in a music studio. Like he just went in like, excuse me, what he's not gonna do coming out of his lane. But I respect that because it was so real. I can't even break it down like nowhere near close to how dope he did, but that was like the concept of it. But it resonated with me because that goes back to me. Like I only talk about stuff that I know. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't know it, I'm gonna be yeah, I don't know about that. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? But what I know, and I got receipts. But I know I'm here to do what we doing, and I know we're doing a damn good job, and I appreciate you. And shout out to the tribe because they doing what they do too. And shout out to, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but they said finish alive at 11:10. That's funny because I think that was a number that was in today there was 11:01, 11:10 born again.
Mm-hmm. Got to be children born again. Ain't that something?
Yeah, and look, 11
So
11 boy.
the last thing I'm gonna say is this: most people don't know that they not staying in their lane when they putting their nose in other people's business. If you don't know them people that's talking about that topic and you don't know nothing about the topic and you start butting in with negative interjections, you in the wrong lane. Just so you know. That's it.
Message Tommy Davidson in living color. We've had that on the channel a few times, and I try to tell them like very politely and respectfully, please be careful because you have no idea who. And I
And
promise you,
don't.
you do not want that. I promise you. And it ain't about me. I'm just the messenger. What little Scrappy say? You don't want them problems. Yes, sir. All right, Trav, we appreciate y'all, man. So we're gonna wrap it up at 11:11, which is another dope number. So yeah, with that, Big Chief, I appreciate you, bro. I'll definitely be in touch, man. I'll holler at you, man. We're gonna make it do what it do, and in divine time again. But yeah, family, I appreciate the love, support, and y'all keep doing what y'all do. We keep rising, and it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. It ain't over till we win. Shout out to Big Chief and the whole Ashe tribe and community. We out, family. We'll see y'all on the next episode. Don't forget to please.
Peace and blessings to the gods. Peace and blessings to the gods. How you feeling, Chief?
Peace and blessings. It's 808s right on the Lions Gate, that 88. You dig? We hitting them from the root chakra to the crown, baby.
I say, man. God, man, once again, I gotta always thank you and give a lot of love and appreciation to you, man, because you really connected worlds. And people might hate on that. I've been hearing a little slick hate and everything. I ain't gonna say no names, but they really mad that you united worlds and different groups and different people. I just got off the phone with some brothers in Africa talking about some they saw you live with Unscrubber Minds and how powerful that live was, and they in Africa talking about this stuff right now. So we'll get on that a little bit later. I named this live today Black August, and of course it's a powerful one because it's of course the Lion Gate portal. All hell SikMet, all hell that divine energy. So it's most definitely
feminine energy.
and after that, I mean, how do you feel about the Lionsgate portal? We're in Black August. You want to explain what Black August is?
Black August was a commemoration created for the Soledad brother George Jackson originally. It also extends to the recognition of political prisoners and freedom fighters that rose up from our community. You know, Geronimo Pratt, Joe Mutula Shakur's. We are different tribes, but we all have freedom fighters. We had freedom fighters come as entertainers. We had freedom fighters come as poets. We had freedom fighters come as dancers. Because everybody got to try to figure out from a different angle how to attack the enemy that's occupying us successfully in order to overcome. George Jackson, Soledad brother, founder of the BGF, Black Guerrilla Family. Also, he was instrumental in the military strategic thinking of the original Black Panthers out of Oakland. He used to write Huey and Stokely from prison. George Jackson was serving a 1 year to life sentence. That's what they call an illegal sentence in today's law. But at the time George Jackson was sentenced, that was just a way to try to make us submit to their system. And George Jackson was in prison having the same effect as Rod Hayes, but he was in prison with no internet. Right? He was writing letters to Angela Davis, became known as the Soledad letters. Angela Davis to his brother, to his mama, to his pops, right? And so the letters became, I think that's the book that became Blood in My Eye. The quote, Blood in My Eye, is an old Southern quote from Southern Mississippi culture. But it became made famous after the assassination of George Jackson because they murdered him because the prison guards claimed he had a pistol in his afro. But they never produced the pistol. Let that sink in. So they shoot him down on the what they say was a prison escape. We don't know whether to believe their story or not. I'm leaning where I don't believe them. But he had been telling his mama and his dad in letters, they not gonna never let me out here. They will murder me first. And his parents was trying to tell him to don't think like that, you know, pray to Jesus. And he was like, Jesus is not coming to get me out of the custody of these people. Right? So when they finally killed him, his mama, they asked her for an interview. They asked her if she had anything to say about her son getting killed. And she turned and she looked at the reporter and she said, blood in my eye. That was all she said. And she wouldn't explain what it mean or nothing. But before they killed George, they killed Jonathan, his little brother. Right? Jonathan Jackson took over the courtroom doing his work for the community because he was trying to tell us, the ones who don't know what's going on, these courts is a fraud. The only reason why they have any power is because the police. They don't have no power. All of their jurisdiction is contrived, and I'll put my life on the line, and one day somebody gonna find out.
Thanks.
And that's why they killed Jonathan Jackson. Now we gotta remember, they took Angela Davis to trial for aiding and abetting Jonathan Jackson, and she beat the case. So they tell you it was some foul stuff going on the government side of things, right? So the commemoration of Black August was a commemoration of the Soledad brother George Jackson and all freedom fighters that followed that wouldn't bend, fold, or buckle under the weight of the oppressor. They still, if you read, he got two books. One is called The Soledad Brother. The other one called Blood in My Eye. The Soledad Brother was like stuff that he would write, like philosophies and opinions of George Jackson, right? But in those letters, you get to see him telling his parents what he's up against, you know, and he got the guerrilla mentality. The guerrilla mentality is, I'm an easygoing guy until you try to take advantage of me. Right? It's a story of one of his writings about, he said, the Muslims came to me and told me, we ain't going to child, we finna tear this MF up, right? He said, the Black Liberation Group came to me and said, we ain't going to child, we about to tear this up. So nobody supposed to be going to child. He said, I went to the child hall with dignity and pride on my own without any of the aid of the brothers that was about to fight this dastardly fight. And he said, they caught me coming back from the chow hall. He said, they asked me, hey, brother, what is you doing, man? He say, I fight a revolution way better on a full stomach.
I say. Man, how you feeling about this Malcolm Jamal Warner? He's now an ancestor, also gone in this Black August.
I don't know if we know the Gemini flip of Malcolm Jamal Warner, but we know him as Theo from the Cosby Show. We don't know him as Malcolm named after Malcolm X. We don't know that side of him. Most of us don't. Like, I didn't even know he was into activism all the time he was being active. But he was using theater, right? He was writing poems. They want to know who the voices are, you know, and the dates, the ages. I call it death by numbers. The death by numbers it's always tied to something else, right? The Malcolm Jamal Warner, right, sent me down a rabbit hole, took me to divine insight. Malcolm X sent Rashad Jamal as a Warner. I'm like, where do I get this from out of this man's name? Because it's speaking to me separate from his name. So I go look up Divine Insight again, and I just type it in. Divine, I said Rashad Jamal on Malcolm X. I got to put the post up. I didn't go real thorough into the details or everything that I was seeing with it, but it was literally Rashad Jamal was literally giving the discourse about Malcolm X and warning us to heed the words of Malcolm X, or we were going to end up crash dummies, basically. The warning of Malcolm X was the media will have you believing that your worst enemy love you more than anybody else on the planet. Media influence got the mind of the people. I said, okay, if Malcolm sent Divine Insight as a warner, what that got to do with me? right? Because I can't read it like this if it doesn't have something to do with me. Do you know where he at?
Mm-hmm.
Where he at? Tell the people where he at, because they might think I'm making it up.
Georgia Correctional Facility.
What's the name of the facility?
I can't remember the exact name.
Hayes.
Dang.
So he in Hayes Correctional Facility knocking with Malcolm on a warning for me to get a message. How did Malcolm Jamal Warner die?
They say drowned. They say he drowned.
How did he drown?
I don't have all the information on it. I hear and I don't hear the descriptions.
Two things. He was attempting to save his daughter, which came out later. It wasn't part of the original story.
Yeah.
All right. And in this process, he got caught in something called a rip current. It's called a riptide. That's when two tides is coming together, and it creates a effect, right? So it's three different tides at once pulling on you. It's called a rip current or a riptide, right? Now that took me to wrestling. I said, "Right, what they got to do with wrestling?" The Queen of the South shall rise again has been the slogan of the matriarchs around the world. The Riptide revealed Rhea Ripley. Her finisher is called the Riptide, right? But that's not all. It's predicated up on Malcolm Jamal Warner played Theo in the Cosby Show, but there was a wrestler back in 2019, 2020 who was 7 feet tall who died trying to save his son. He got caught in a riptide, but he told the rescuers, "Get my son first," which cost him his life. So now you got Malcolm Jamal Warner, the actor, caught in a riptide, and then you got Shad I think it's Gaspar, died caught in a riptide. The first one was trying to save his son. The second one is trying to save his daughter. So it's telling a story, but it's a wrestling story, right? So Rhea Ripley is from Australia. This is telling me the message on the matriarchal line, the South is about to rise.
See.
But then there's another Queen of the South, La Primera, that just showed up. She I think from Venezuela, South America. So it ain't just the Queen of the South, it's the Queen of the Americas who's rising in the South because we didn't know the South was up and North was down. Right? So when I go to look them up, I look up the plane flight from where Rhea Ripley from in Australia to where La Primera is from in Venezuela. And the flight pattern makes a smiley face. The smiley face is the confirmation of the spirit knocks that I'm getting through Death by Numbers, arts and entertainment, and simulated fight combat. Right? So it's more to it than that. But I was being lazy and didn't want to do all of the deep dive into it. Because at this point, if you don't get it, I can't give it to you.
I see.
We are heralding the rise of the divine feminine, the restoration of the grand matriarchs across the land. It's more than one matriarch on the land. It's not just one. It's more than one matriarch around the world. It's not just one. There's a network.
I see.
Women don't operate like men where it got to be just one at the top. The matriarchal order is different from the patriarchal structure. Patriarchy has to always push somebody to the forefront, following something called the Peter Principle. In the matriarchy, you can't be pushed to the forefront unless you qualify to fulfill the function that the matriarchy need fulfilled. In other words, if you can't fix it, get the hell out the way and let the fixer come fix it. This the difference in how patriarchy does. Patriarchy sets you up if you're not founded in rugged individualism, you destined for failure because you're not going to look for no help. You're not going to accept no help to your own detriment because you're trying to man up. But a wise general say every part of the military has its purpose. I'm not sending the cavalry when I should be sending the snipers. Right? I'm not sending the snipers when I should have been sending the cavalry. I don't know how to use my resources. So the matriarchal order says the person who's most qualified for the job, whether it's picking flowers in the backyard, whether it's driving grandma back and forth to market, the most qualified for the job at the time hold the function.
Sure.
Until a more qualified individual comes along, or the person holding the function, if you don't want it, should train somebody else to fulfill the purpose so that a competent person inherits the leadership in that area. Just because you're the leader of the political government don't mean you're going to be the leader of the military.
Thanks.
And just because you're the leader of the military don't mean you're going to be in charge of farming and resources. If you look at what the corporation did, the corporation funneled it all back to one man, the CEO, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the United States of America, aka the president. Right? When they did that, it broke the proper structure of the matriarchal order that was pre-established. When they got here, it was running. We didn't have prisons because we ain't need them. We ain't have police because we ain't need them. We knew how to handle our own affairs and we knew how to deal with each other because we knew who we were before these interlopers came in. Looking like us, but talking like the devil.
Thanks.
Smooth talking jive talkers. That's talking jive real smooth to convince you to believe that somebody other than you gonna die for your sins. Sins have nothing to do with your mortality or your immortality. All it have anything to do with is whether you part of the ones who take part in the sin right or you not part of them. But you don't even know what the sin right is. This is where the problem come in because they've been telling us in the church the whole time we sinners. We born sinners. We wasn't sinners until we took communion. Right? The only reason we was born into sin is because our parents was taking communion at church. And they was praying saying amen at church. Those are sin rights. Sin is not an act. Sin is a noun. It's somebody's name. Just like hell, it's somebody's name. They got us believing it's a place. If you go back and you research Greek mythology and Egyptology, hell is reference to Hela, the mother of Greece, also referred to as Helen. The EN mean that she had mastered something to become Lord, but this was in the feminine, so it came at the end instead of the beginning of the name. Right? So Hela, when she got her title, her godship title, she became Lord Helen or Helen. Hela, the Lord. All of this stuff in modern English has been scrambled eggs to confuse the minds of the people that know this stuff in their genetic memory, but they being told to access it out of order. So you read the scrolls of Malachi, he said, I'm not worried about the story itself. I'm worried about y'all getting the order right. Who did what and at what point did they do it? They got y'all believing the story all wrong. And when you go trace it back, it's all based out of Babylon. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all spring from the Talmud and the Mishnah. If anybody that tell you they God picked us 12 tribes over somebody and didn't have a home for them, is making it up.
The God of the desert.
Because the concept comes from the 12 daughters of Isis, sometimes referred to as the 12 sisters of Isis. Isis seat is the 13th, which is referred to as sacerdotal seat, earth ruler seat. The papal seat of the Pope is the usurpation. That's why his seat is under Big Mama's seat. He's usurping the matriarchal right to rule the planet, because Earth is a feminine planet and it's supposed to be ruled by the divine feminine. So if we don't know this, then we gonna believe that God gonna come back surfing on the cloud with a Philharmonic orchestra behind him, with his waving locks of blonde hair blowing in the wind as he plays his harp, coming to save the lost souls. Why? How they get lost? What make them lost? Right? And then the first thing the Christians say is they lost in sin. Where that nigga at? Sin is the son of Enlil, who they call Yahweh. And Yahweh is the Bible God. But sin, his son, is the devil. All of them blood rites, when they smearing in the blood, all that, those are sin rites. Yeah. I'll catch you later. Yep, those are sin rites. The major three sin rites is Babylonian blood magic, Babylonian sex magic, and Babylonian money magic. But the sin rites is for a purpose, right? It's for a military trilateral attack from a spiritual perspective. If you attack them spiritually and they don't enact their spiritual ancestors to protect them, they have no defense. This is why they refer to them as sheep. Defenseless sheep. Because you don't know you under attack, and they didn't convince you that this Bible God that they fed you, that they what made a composite of a group of guys into one God. And this one God loved you so much, he had his son get murdered by people just like you. And when they murdered his son, he said, oh, that's all right. I'm God. That's just my son. Y'all can't do nothing to hurt him. This is the story they're giving us, but they took it from somewhere else, and that's not what the original story say. The original story is in something called the Osirian resurrection. The first resurrection story recorded on planet Earth. Why do we even need a resurrection story? The resurrection story was written in the hieroglyphs for a reason. Right? Referred to also as the Holy Drama. It's telling you stellar time, the cycles, the flow and the ebb, which we call the two pillars, because you oscillate between the two pillars, the flow and the ebb. It's telling you about the opposites, which is another two pillars. It's telling you about frequency, how often the thing happen, right? Then when you step back and look at it, you can actually see what's called wavelength. How long is the wave on this frequency? You measure the wave from peak to peak, right? We realize that by teaching the science in this way, using symbolism, using the stones, using the runes, the I Ching, the tarot, these are training tools to wake you back up so you can reorganize the story and put everything in its proper place.
I'm sure.
We gotta remember, the New Testament was not written in Paleo Hebrew. It wasn't written in Arabic, none. It was written in Greek. That means its point of origin is not the Middle East at all. That's the first thing we got to understand. It was not written in what's called a Semitic language. It was written in the first Indo-European language called Greek. The second one's called Latin. The Greek priestesses was usurped, and Helen gets switched out and turned into a man in Rome. If you go back to that movie Ragnarok, the very first scene when Thor and Loki's sister come through the portal, and they say, "Hello, Hela." Now notice that she's dressed in all black. She's also Lilith, right? The Jesus story don't got nothing to do with no man. So they painted the gender swap to tell us that Isis is a man named Jesus. We know that can't be true because the person that gave us Jesus was a male homosexual that wished he was a woman. King James himself. But we don't know none of that stuff. We don't know who King James was. We don't know the history of King James. We don't know the authorization of the writing of the Book of Demon Knowledge. We don't know none of that about that. So since we don't know that, that can't be part of our math in trying to decipher what's going on. Get it?
No, most definitely.
If it's not part of the math, you can't adjust for it. Everything is part of the equation.
I see.
Just because you don't see it, that means you just can't add it right now. You haven't seen it yet.
Thanks.
Nobody never told you yet. And how do you know you need to add it to the equation? As soon as you realize a cognitive dissonance. I don't call it cognitive dissonance when I'm talking to us in the hood. I say the what the fuck effect. Right? Because the first thing you say is, what the fuck you get that from? Right? I ain't never heard that before. Who told you that and where did you get it from? Oh man, you ain't never heard of. And then it leads into a conversation of discovery. I'm not the person to tell somebody they don't know what they're talking about, and I don't know what they're talking about. I got to first understand what they're saying.
Thanks.
Before I can tell them, you don't even know what the fuck you talking about. I can't tell them that in good faith, and I ain't ask them no questions to understand where they coming from. But some people, you can read like an open book, especially ones with PhDs, associate's degrees, and bachelors, because they lead with the paperwork. Oh, brother can't tell me nothing. I got a master's degree from Harvard. I went to HBCUs all my whole college life. Right? You can't tell them nothing. But you got exceptions to the rule. They gonna tell you what the idiot think he's saying, and you gonna understand the exception better than you did the fool of the rule. So that's like, I got a cousin pledged in college. And me and him can talk a metaphysical conversation just like we haven't, like me and you sit down and chop it up. And he don't miss a beat. And all he be doing is laugh because he be like, cuz, man, how you know all that? Right? because while I was locked up, he was in academia. He ain't know I was in Platinum Back University.
Some straight shuttle vault.
Mm-hmm.
Real
You
quick,
wasn't, I told him one day, I said, you wasn't the only one at university. Mine was just university penitentiary.
Hard Knock Life.
Yeah.
Yo, I had a real powerful message, man, cause I don't be entertaining a little hate or whatever. But real quick, man, just to let you know, I'm reading a message that a great chief on his land sent to us, and it was a beautiful message. She said we must acknowledge and protect elder matriarch energies to help identify and guide young women elders, and that came from Mama Callie. And then she's a big chief in the land. You see what I'm saying? Mama Boomy and Timber, those big, I mean, they some big chiefs on the land. Legacy, Light Feather, Dope Enough, Rebel Divine, and I want to keep supporting, like also Unscrambled Minds. I love their channel and what they putting down. And somebody in Africa hit me up today, and we have ambassadors all in Africa, right? And the ambassador said, "Yo, let them know that there's ignorant people everywhere, right? We got crazy people on a Friday night, on a manifestation night, that act like they don't like you, but they took their time on a Friday night that could be doing anything in the universe to come here and stare in your face and text. Likewise, you got people that say ignorant stuff all the time, and the people in Africa was like, no, that's not us. These are the same thing that we would call boulets. These are the ones that had a little money and came over here with their own mind frame. But there's people over there trying to do real business with us. They want to see us economically on top, the same way they trying to get on top. And people make it, there's a whole thing going on to keep everybody divided and disrespectful and everything. So I just had to give a shout out to all those matriarchs, like you said, and understanding that like you said, there's big mamas everywhere, and they watching, and they most definitely watching. You had a lot of people. I'm gonna show love to the people that show love to us, man. All that dumb stuff, people. You came here on a Friday night to hate. That's crazy. Everybody's saying hello to the chief, man. I'm trying to see if I'm missing any questions real quick. I don't want to get too far. Shout out Women Make Heaven. That's a real thing. Peace. Cancer 25, peace. He back. I was just watching part 2 with him and his sister Freedom. Most definitely. That was a great show, man. That's a classic show. So I'm about to get back to it. I just want to show love to everybody that show love to us, man. We skip all over the haters, bro. Also, man, you want to touch on the Black Madonna. We've been on the matriarch thing for a minute now, and we're trying to push this matriarch thing for a minute now. Can you break down the Black Madonna for me?
Shout out to brother Albert Cleage. Had the bookstore Shrine to Black Madonna. He had one in Detroit, one in Houston.
It's still everything, ain't it?
The one in Detroit is closed. As far as the last time I knew, it had closed down. But it had a group of people that used to meet at this place called Arkantundes that was trying to mobilize resources to keep the bookstore, because it's not only a bookstore, it's a historical relic. Okay, so the origin story